I don't think you can tell.
No.
I don't think anyone will notice.
No.
Can't tell I just stuck jalapeno peppers in my eyes. We're gonna do a little taste test. Got some freeze-dried rice pilaf. And what does pilaf mean?
I don't know. It's a French word.
Okay, we'll cut that part of it. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. This week, we're obviously not in the van, we're not in the backcountry. We are here in my mom and dad's new kitchen. They have graciously allowed me to take over their kitchen for the weekend. And I brought in my friend, Chef Tyler Scott from Camp Kitchen. And we are going to, well, you're going to see what we're going to do. We've got all kinds of plans here, all this stuff in front of you, plus a ton more. We're going to make a bunch of meals that we're going to freeze dry and also dehydrate, maybe do a little comparison of those two methods, and get ready to take some of the stuff in the backcountry for our summer camping and hiking plans.
Did I have to say anything?
No.
Thank goodness. Cut the ends off.
Okay.
And then I just do like, sort of the thing I've noticed with doing like dehydrated or freeze-dried meals, not that I've done a lot of freeze-dried meals, is that you kind of want everything to be like a consistent size.
Uniform size.
Yeah, but you also want to like take an account of density.
Okay.
So like zucchini is softer than pepper, like as far as density goes. So you can leave your zucchini a little bit bigger than your pepper.
Yeah.
Because when you cook, once you start cooking it, you'll end up overcooking certain things.
Right.
Cut them. And I'm gonna dice everything up just so that it kind of fits on a spoon. Line them up, and then doesn't have to be perfect, just like a medium dice.
Yeah.
When I cut like peppers open, like red peppers, yellow peppers, orange peppers, it smells like sweet. But when you cut a green pepper, it almost is like peppery. And I know like that's not a good word because it's the same word as what it is, but like black peppery almost. And this is the best way to cut peppers in my opinion because you don't waste any. Sometimes people do like the...
Yeah.
But you waste so much of the pepper and like at the end of the day, you're just dicing it. That's what I would normally do.
Whatever, it's neat to see just to learn like a more efficient way of doing things.
Yeah, I don't know, like for...
Because I'm a hack in the kitchen, I just, whatever works, right?
Yeah. My sous chef used to always joke to me, she's like, your style is rustic modern. This is kind of an oxymoron, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's true, it's like really new ideas.
I'm gonna stand here with a knife so it looks like I'm doing something.
Yeah, just don't cut me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like new ideas, but done in like a rustic way, I guess. And like not caring as much about whether everything is cut like perfectly.
Absolutely uniform.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, we're gonna, like, what is it for, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is this application for? Is this gonna be where it needs to be, like, nicely precision cut, or is it gonna go into a pot with rice?
Yeah.
Is it really gonna matter when you've traveled, I don't know, 25 kilometers, 30 kilometers in a day, and you just want a nice quick side dish to go with your trout that you caught?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think when you get to camp after a long day, you've been out for weeks or whatever, you're really going to be worried about if the onions aren't completely uniform.
I made this spoon. It's like the perfect, especially for rice, because you've got the square corner and then the rounded corner, so you can get into the corner of the pan, but also when you like are using a bowl, you can get into the bottom rounded part of the bowl.
Perfect.
Yeah, and also it holds a good amount of volume, so.
Yeah. Sweet.
I'm really very particular with my spoons. That's why I brought 3, just for all the things that we're doing today.
All right, so pretty much I am here just for the eye candy, and Tyler's doing most of the work. Ty's been putting all this together. We've got 4 dishes we're working on over the next couple days. Do you want to start with just the first dish we're making right now and kind of fill us in on or fill everyone else in on what we're making?
Yeah, sure. So the first dish we're going to do is rice pilaf, and it's going to be very summery and fresh. We got zucchini, some red, yellow, and orange pepper, garlic, onion, a little bit of thyme, a little bit of bay leaf, and chicken stock. And this dish is sort of a side dish for when you're out canoeing, you catch a fish. You don't want to just eat fish, you want something to go with it that's really quick and easy. It won't take very long to rehydrate or reconstitute. Yeah, just like a really quick, easy side dish. And if you don't catch a fish, you could double down your portion. Yeah. Or if you have like freeze-dried chicken, you can add to it.
Alrighty, let's get it started.
Yep, some butter. And I'm just gonna I don't know, I cook with too much butter. So that's like kind of like a trade secret, is if you think you're using enough butter, you're probably not. That's about 3/4 of a cup. I'm gonna add the vegetables in. They might not all fit in at the beginning, but that's okay because they're gonna like sweat right down, so I'll sort of add more as I go. This is the epitome of summer. I'm gonna sweat this down. I'm gonna add the salt right now. And that'll actually help start to sweat everything down as well. The salt will break the vegetables down a bit too. I'm just gonna add 4 cups of rice, 8 cups of stock. I'm just gonna bring this up to a simmer now. Not like a hard boil, just like a soft simmer. Slap the lid on it, fire it in the oven at 350 until it sucks up all that liquid.
Yeah, so that rice is gonna absorb all this moisture.
Yep. And that should be a perfect ratio for the rice to be cooked at that point.
Next dish.
It's kind of scary when you do that.
I won't touch the special knife.
Oh, you can touch it. I'm not afraid.
So when we first started talking about doing something like this, the first thing that came to mind to make was a breakfast skillet. I'm a huge breakfast fan. I'll eat it any time of the day. But I wanted to try corned beef. Just explain what you did with this corned beef first of all, or what it is and where it came from.
I got some brisket from a friend at Johnson Farms, Wagyu, and I cured it for 7 days. Actually, I brined it for 7 days with some spices, warm spices, and rinsed it after 7 days, put it in a vacuum seal bag, sous vide it for 48 hours, and then chilled it, and that just cooks it really slowly, gets lots of flavor trapped in there, and makes sure it's nice and moist and tender.
Yeah, it looks amazing, it tastes amazing. I think this is gonna be a real favorite. So we've got obviously eggs, the corned beef, we're gonna add some potatoes, more onion, we've got green peppers and some jalapenos. Jalapenos, or jalapenos as I like to call them. So it's gonna have a little bit of a kick to it.
One thing too about using the Wagyu brisket is that for this application, we're not even gonna have to put like any butter or anything in the pan. We might put like a little bit just so it doesn't stick right away. But there's so much nice, beautiful fat on that it's just gonna like slowly render everything in that corned beef fat as it cooks.
Dude, you're speaking my language.
I'm excited about that one. So I'm going to dice up the corned beef, dice the potatoes, dice the onions, dice the peppers, dice the jalapenos, all to like a consistent size. And then I'm gonna crack the eggs and start cooking. I really don't want to do this part. Usually I wear gloves because I always end up touching my eyeball.
Do you want me to do it?
I mean, are your eyes jalapeno pepper proof?
No, I'm standing here.
You're like, no, because I'm just not a baby like you are.
No, I feel like I haven't done anything. If you want me to do it.
I mean, you can if you want. We can do it together.
Oh, my eyes.
The problem is you can wash your hands, but it gets under your fingernails.
Yeah. My parents love spicy stuff.
Do they? Or are you being sarcastic?
My parents, I think, actually think like tomatoes are spicy.
A lot of people like to spice something up, to make something spicy, like black pepper is like as far as they go. Right?
Yeah. That's the house I was raised in. Okay, so we got onions, garlic, green peppers, jalapeno peppers.
Yep.
Now potato.
Potatoes.
Skin on.
Skin on.
Is there a reason why, like, you just think they taste better skin on? Or?
I think that they taste relatively the same. I guess I'm lazy. No, I just don't think that they take away from the final product. I think they don't taste worse.
No, I like it with skin's on.
And I feel like there's nutrients in the skin.
Yep.
And if we don't have it, also texture, a little bit of like, it gives you that little bit of bite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and these are yellow flesh potatoes,
Okay.
which is important to me.
Because?
So white flesh potatoes are going to be really starchy,
Yes.
and yellow flesh potatoes are going to be really sweet. And then there's obviously a world in between,
I
right?
just touched my eye.
Did it burn?
I didn't go right in my eye, but I can feel the tingle from just going near it.
But yellow flesh for this application, I don't want it to be really starchy because it's going to be like, right?
Yeah.
Starchy potatoes are really good for like frying, where this is going to be more like a sauteed or roasted. So sweet is better than starchy.
Okay.
Yellow flesh, sweet. White flesh, starchy.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't think you can tell. Can you?
Let's see.
I don't think anyone will notice.
No.
Can't tell. I just stuck jalapeno peppers in my eyes.
We are going to dice up the corned beef. It's slippery. It's like skinning a fish. Oh, it's terrible. I don't think we can use this. We have to eat it all. First egg, I got shell in it. Start again. This is going to be a long 30 eggs.
That's a skillet.
That's a skillet. It's a little bit rusty. Ripping on it. Add a little bit of pepper to it. Not a lot. More appropriate for this.
I feel like that was a job I could have done.
Here, whisk these eggs up. I'm gonna add this back into.
I feel like I'm just standing around watching you do everything.
But
Which is really what I am.
You're gonna help with the most important part, and that's eating it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That part I am good at.
Now we're gonna add the eggs. Mix that up, you know.
Overflow pan.
I was getting a little scared. See it right by him? Look at that. It's gonna burn the heck out of my mouth.
Oh, it's delicious. And I did get jalapeno in my eye. Feels wonderful. But
Told you not to do it.
But yeah, a little bit of salt and that would be
Yep.
perfect. Tastes amazing. So we're gonna do one tray in here for
Yep.
the freeze dryer. And then we've got a few trays for the extra we'll dehydrate.
I'm excited for the jambalaya.
Yeah, that's gonna be so cool.
I heard that shrimp is like super good in the freeze dryer.
Really?
Yeah. I heard that you can eat it, it's like styrofoam. Like cheesy.
Everything is styrofoam.
Yeah.
Let's put this in. Yeah, everything comes out like styrofoam. So there we go. All loaded up. Rice pilaf and 3 trays with our...
Skillet.
That's the word I'm
Corned
looking
beef
for.
skillet.
Corned beef skillet. So we'll let that run. We've got some more pilaf in the dehydrator, which I think I can hear running.
Yep.
So we'll see what that turns out like
Hopefully
tomorrow.
good.
And now we'll go back to the kitchen. So the next meal we wanted to do was a jambalaya. So way back a lifetime ago, I was in the army, and that was my favorite ration when we got handed out our rats to eat in the field. And yeah, so we're gonna recreate some of those old army rations, but in a much healthier, lower preservative, more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Soulful.
There we go. Yeah, this is like a hearty stick to your ribs.
Yeah, protein heavy with rice, one pot. Really good for a day where you're paddling maybe a little bit too late, don't have too much time at camp.
Yeah, very simple to reconstitute.
Yep.
So we've got shrimp, chicken, and sausage.
Yep.
And then a whole ton of
Veggies.
veggies going into it, and a giant pot. We're gonna rice the whole bit. So,
Yep.
ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
So I think I'm going to use the same amount of rice as I put in the rice pilaf yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, that was a full 4 cup.
Yeah. And then I'm going to use 8 cups of liquid. So the recipe actually calls for whole tomatoes, but like usually I use whole tomatoes, but these are like exceptionally good. Right. Now, even garlic is a bit spicy, so just don't rub your eye after you peel it. So this is the Holy Trinity, and basically the base of a lot of southern, especially Louisiana dishes would start with the Holy Trinity, which is an adaptation of mirepoix, but instead of carrots, it's green peppers. So it's onion, celery, and green peppers. And then you can add the Pope's hat, which is the garlic, which kind of looks like a Pope's hat, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna sear off the chicken, and then we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna add the sausage, brown that up, and start adding the vegetables and stuff, and then add the chicken back in.
You keep saying we, and I was like, you got a mouse in your pocket or something?
Yeah, ratatouille style.
Yeah. I'm just standing here kind of watching everything.
No, it's a team
That's
effort.
pretty much you.
Team effort.
This is you.
Usually I use a skin-on chicken thigh for something like this, but with the freeze dry, I don't know how well the fatty skin would reconstitute, so I feel like this is a safer way to go.
I'll do some stuff. Okay, we got I say we. Tyler got the chicken browned up while I watched. And now we're gonna take the sausage. So I've done sausage before in the freeze dryer, and it's the casings that tend not to rehydrate very well. They get almost like they're hard. They never turn back into anything soft. It's weird. So anyway, we're gonna take these beautiful sausages and extract the filling and just use that instead of in the case. And then we get all the spices and what kind of sausage is it?
Andouille, which is the traditional jambalaya sausage. Pinch one end. I like pinch one end and kind of pull the meat out of the one end, and then there's not really a good way. Sometimes they split open like that one did, and we're just gonna.
It's like painting, you just end up wearing most of it.
You just end up most of it on your floor.
Yeah.
Can you smell like the seasonings?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of smells like really good hot dogs, right?
It smells better than hot dogs.
Well, yeah, but like they are very similar seasonings, which is kind of neat. I find a trick when you're cooking anything that's like ground meat, like kind of get it moving right away and get it squishing in the hot oil, because as it cooks, it's gonna want to like stay in the shape that it's cooking in. As it's cooking right away, just get it smushing, and you'll end up with that really fine cooked meat, which I think is what we're aiming for, because it's gonna dry out better, but it's also gonna reconstitute better.
This is why you bring in a professional. Learn some stuff.
That's a strong word.
Well, you're a hell of a lot more professional than I am. There's a good amount of spice in there. It smells amazing.
Yeah. If I was gonna do the chicken, if I was gonna make this for like restaurant or even for like a dinner, I probably wouldn't cube up the chicken nearly as much. But again, I'm trying to make everything like relatively similar size so that it rehydrates at a similar rate.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting that steam effect.
Can't see. You want me to scrape it? Yeah, it's all coming out.
It's up in there. I just want to make sure it all landed in the bowl because I can't see it.
Oh, like just a little bit here. Try that. That does not taste like hot dogs.
No, you're right.
That's delicious. Is it all going in together?
Yeah. Why not?
So even though this is like a one pot meal, it's not like you're one potting everything at the same time and cooking it in and out of it.
No, so like the meat has so much moisture in it that you won't be able to like get any like browning or anything happening on your vegetables because you'll just be sweating your vegetables, which is sometimes really good, but we want to take advantage of the meat and everything that's stuck to the bottom of this pan right now.
Yeah.
You get the vegetables cooking in that leftover fat and the fond, and just kind of like let it absorb those flavors, cook down. I'm gonna hit a little bit of cayenne as well. I'm not gonna go heavy on the hot sauce, so it's more for like the flavor. Do you want some for your eyeball? It smells really good.
You want the tomato now?
Yeah, you dump it in. Now I'm gonna add the chicken stock and then some rice.
I feel like
Maybe not.
maybe not. It's not overly spicy at all.
No.
Very like even. If you wanted to,
A little more?
if you wanted to, you could kick it up a notch if you wanted to. But like I said, it's going to be more mild when it comes out of the freeze dryer. It won't be nearly as strong.
Yeah, I think I will do that. A little heavy-handed there. That's good.
That's really good right there. That's going to only make it better.
I don't want to make it too soupy, so I started with like a light amount of chicken stock, and then I'll kind of let it cook, add a little bit more if I need to. So I want it to be like the consistency of like a stew almost. So we just hit the shrimp in there, and we're just gonna let it cook with the residual heat. Shrimp take very little to cook.
Yeah, if you hit that with like a bit of hot sauce when you reconstitute it, yeah, that would really make the flavors pop, I think.
Yeah, but it's good like this too because now it's like even somebody who doesn't like spicy food would be like, this tastes good. They wouldn't find it, I don't think, too spicy. So this one's gonna be a bit different because we're gonna freeze dry it, some of the ingredients raw. So how and I don't know how it's gonna work. Like I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna work. Do you want to do it that way and just try it out, or do we want to like?
I think it would be interesting to try it. So this is going to have steak, peppers, onions, mushrooms, and then garlic and whatever.
Yep.
So all the veg is raw. We sear the steak, slice it, slice the veg, pack it, and then freeze dry it all.
Yeah.
And so then you're going to reconstitute at camp, and then throw it in the pan.
Throw it in the pan.
Yeah, I want to try it.
You want to try it?
Yeah.
Cool. One thing I want to do is I want to boil the potatoes. So those won't.
Those will cook
as well.
Yeah, so we're gonna dice up some potato.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna boil some potato whole. And then I'm gonna cool them down a little bit and then slice them. Okay. We're not gonna cut a lot of these, we're actually just gonna tear them.
Okay.
So anything like that size we can just tear in half.
Okay.
But anything like that is probably fine whole. It doesn't really matter that much.
Okay, and then
so all those probably just like
peel up.
Yeah, peel up. Yeah, exactly. Like peeling one of those cheese strings.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have shiitake, We have the golden or the yellow oyster mushrooms. We have some pearl oyster mushrooms. And somewhere in here, there's also these ones, which are the king black pearl oyster mushrooms.
Well, the reason I wanted to do this is because I was having wild heartburn from all the processed freeze-dried food. Like, it sounds funny, there's that many preservatives in freeze-dried food. But
yeah, like freeze-dried food that's preserving food.
Yeah.
You need to add more preservatives.
Yeah, I guess they add it for color or texture, I don't know, whatever, but it was just, I couldn't eat them. And then, of course, you only get limited success out of a dehydrator.
Yeah, and also the nutritional loss is pretty big on dehydrators as well.
Yeah, it's much more than it would be on the freeze dryer, that's for sure. So that's why I decided to invest in the freeze dryer, because I was spending so much time camping and wanting to do even more, and wanting to eat good while I was out there. So to go back to like a meal like the jambalaya that we were talking about earlier, it's like when you paddled all day and you're exhausted, to sit down and have an easy, hearty, satisfying meal, whether it's pouring rain or it's scorching hot or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you have minimal weight to carry, it's a stick to your ribs, very satisfying thing to eat, and it's quick and easy to prepare.
Mm-hmm. I was saying earlier, like, I bring a chair, even when I'm like being relatively lightweight. I like to bring a chair when I go on a canoe trip. It's not a necessity, but it's a comfort. And that means that I have to do a little bit of extra work on the trip so that I have that like little bit of comfort. But after a long day of paddling, it's well worth the extra weight that I have to carry.
Yeah.
Well, this prep is a little bit extra work ahead of time, but it'll be rewarded after doing that 30 kilometer, 40 kilometer day of like the 4 kilometer portage that made you want to go the other way and go back to your car.
Yeah.
And you can sit down and have like a meal that you worked so hard at earlier that's going to fill you back up.
Yeah, and you have this opportunity to have something that's like hearty, healthy, and relatively easy to prepare on their campsite.
Yep. Even if you're not feeling like making a fire, you fire up your stove.
Just always need some boiling water.
Yeah.
So it makes it so easy. But yeah, the chair is a great example of like whatever in the Army we would call your snivel kit. So it's like just everyone takes a few things that you just want to be comfortable. It's going to make your life easier, whether that's like a much bigger tarp or whatever it is. We've all got something, the chair, but this to me, that's what this is. I get a good, hearty, warm meal. This makes it all worth it.
Absolutely. And we know all the ingredients that are in it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, taste test?
Taste test. What do you think? Like, how thick do you think we should go? Like that thick?
Yeah.
Or do you think that's too thick?
No, I wouldn't go any thicker than that, but I think that's good.
Okay, I'll try these.
I do.
It's like beef bubblegum.
I'm sure some people just gagged. The potatoes are, what, 3/4 cooked or so?
Yeah.
And the steak is at a medium rare.
Yeah.
The veg will be raw.
And it's a super traditional meal to have on your first night of camping, but this way you'll be able to have it on any night you want.
Yeah, I think like after like 5 or 6 days, be able to slap this in the pan.
Yeah.
And
it's gonna feel like a fresh meal.
Yeah, it's as close to fresh as you're gonna get a week into a camping trip.
Yeah.
This one I'm actually really excited to try.
This is for the night that you don't catch a fish.
So yesterday's rice pilaf was for when we catch fish.
Yeah.
This is for when we get skunked.
Yeah.
So we probably should have made more of this for me. 'Cause like,
like, oh, pasta, this is great. Do something with beef or something. I feel like this is better today. It's gonna be even better on like day 6. Raining all day, headwinds. Each tray can get 1 steak because there's 4 steaks.
While we're waiting for the freeze dryer, we're gonna do a little taste test. Freeze dried rice pilaf and dehydrated rice. And then just in looking at it, you can see not just a textural difference, but the color difference. This is such a light color, and you've got the much darker yellow rice. This is very hard.
It's like leathery, yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard. This is almost styrofoam-like. You can just crumble it apart. And then you take the 2 bags that we did. Roughly, there might be a little bit more that we did in the dehydrator.
Maybe
the freeze. Yeah, but the freeze-dried stuff is probably about a quarter of the weight.
Volumetrically, it's not a quarter. There's not a quarter of that. Like, it's probably almost equivalent.
Yeah, it's so much later. So we fired up the kettle. We're just going to put some hot water on this. Maybe we'll slap a lid on top of it, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then we're going to do a comparison side by side and see the difference.
Looks edible. That doesn't.
All right, taste test. I'm gonna hit the.
I'll do it too, so we can experience it together.
Take that big chunk there.
It's not bad. It just needs a lot more. It needs a lot more help. Yeah.
The broth is actually really good, but there are some like hard parts in it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some chunks in the rice.
Yeah.
All right.
It could use a lot more, but you're gonna start overcooking the rice that is tender too, right?
I mean, you can't really even compare the two.
No, because
that
tastes the same as when we made it.
Yeah, like there might be a little of extra water in this even.
Well, yeah,
I think put a bit too much.
I think
it's a little wet, but this is like tender, fresh rice.
And the flavor of the zucchini and the peppers come out a lot.
Much more than in that. With the dehydrated, the flavor's in the broth, and with the freeze-dried bowl, the flavor's in the rice.
Yeah.
Like the liquid doesn't really have a whole lot in it.
No.
Look at it.
No, and the vegetables are almost exactly fresh again.
It's not really a fair comparison. This is apples to oranges kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's good to show the contrast.
As you can see out the window behind me, it's now late. It's like, I don't know, after almost 11. And we were hoping we get our last batch through the freeze dryer before Tyler had to take off, but we've run out of time. So, last few days have been fantastic. Getting to hang out, getting to know this guy. And tell everybody where they can find you and what to look for.
Yeah, for sure. You can follow me on Camp Kitch on Instagram and Camp Kitchen on YouTube for some outdoor cooking.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great hanging out. Yeah, thanks so much for your help.
Absolutely.
And hopefully you guys stick around for the next video because I'm taking some of this stuff out on a really awesome canoe trip. I'm really looking forward to this one. It should be really cool. And some of this food is going to go a long way.
Good.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Okay, see you in the next one.